Hello and welcome to the Geek Show. We're going to be on Radio Caley for the next hour, so if you listen in, we're going to be giving a little talk about the recent viewing of The Batman, which we got to enjoy this Saturday, wasn't it? It was pretty good.
Yeah, we saw it on Saturday on one of the most beautiful days outside, which was really annoying, but we booked tickets
It's just
the week before.
It's just typical that we decide we're going to do something, assuming it's going to be the typical grey, cloudy Glasgow weather, and it's absolutely split. The sun is splitting the pavements.
I didn't think it was going to be that hot.
Oh, I mean, it's quite nice in the cinema though, nice and cool, so we're good.
It was worth it, because the film was really good.
It's worth it. We avoided our sunburns. And just as pale as Batman.
Speak for yourself, I don't burn.
God, I know. I always have this fear when the sun comes out, because I'm like, I'm going to get sunburnt at some point. Anyway, so let's just kick off today. So, what were your expectations? Were they met, or,
I didn't know what to expect going into it, just because I feel like Batman's been really saturated in the last, 15 years or something. We've had 3 Batman actors now live action in the last 15 years.
I mean, it's crazy to think that we've had so many Batman movies, right?
Yeah. So I was kind of I didn't know what to think about it before the film was released, because we saw it 2 weeks after it was released.
Yeah,
and then I saw
weekend.
Just raving reviews for it. I was like, oh, right, we need to go see this thing. Because I wasn't going to go see if it had bad reviews, because I'm not the biggest DC fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of similar to you, as in I'm much more of a Marvel girl. I'm very, very easy to cater to. I'm always looking for the quips and the bright humour with Marvel, but DC is sometimes a bit of a harder sell for me, just because of its much more darker tones.
Well, it's not just that. It's just they've been hit and miss with their films, and they've been more missed than hit for the ones I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were saying actually, we think that DC is very good at doing solo films, but when they try and interweave those solo films and stories together, it tends to not work out very well.
Well, yeah, the god-awful Batman vs Superman film.
Yeah.
And Justice League. Although I've not seen the Snyder Cut one of Justice League. That came out last year. Apparently it's really good, the original edited cut of it. I don't really know how that works. I've not seen that. I've only seen the one that's usually put on streaming services. But there are some DC films in there, they're so-called DC Expanded Universe. Yeah. They've tried to do the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but DC...
They saw the success and were like, we want some of that.
Worked. I mean, there's a few I like. I really love the Harley Quinn, features films.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things I was kind of worried about with the Batman was the 3-hour long runtime, which...
You've seen Lord of the Rings, though.
Yes,
I don't know why you were so worried about that.
I don't know.
You sat through, the Hobbit films. You're an avid fan. I don't know why the 3 hours was an off-putting factor for you.
Okay, well, I'm going to blame this on my mum, who I hope is listening right now. She decided to tell me that her mate from work had seen it and he wasn't very impressed, and there's people walking out. And as I left the house that morning, she was like, we do realise you can walk out of a cinema, which I refuse to do because I'm very self-conscious about people's judgment, especially in cinema. But I was pleasantly, I liked it. I thought it was really good. I was actually expecting to sit there with my my arms folding, going, well, why is this scene in here? Because why was this not left on the cutting room floor?
It needed the 3-hour runtime. It sort of made everything was well paced, because I think if they tried to make it a 2.5-hour runtime, it would have felt rushed. A lot of it needed the 3 hours, and it also meant you could have twist after twist. You thought it was over, and then you realised it wasn't, because it was a new 3-hour time. You're like, oh, what's going to happen now?
Yeah. I think the thing is with Batman is a sort of franchise that you can have these very long pauses between scenes, because Batman, it can breathe by itself almost. You can have the brooding scene of him standing in a rooftop looking down, hating Gotham with every fibre of his being, going, guys, can I get a weekend off here? You need those moments, because Batman is just a very broody, dark superhero.
Sleep deprived as well, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think judging from the trailers...
I thought you were pale until I saw this Batman film and realised, no, you're quite tan compared to Bruce Wayne, because I don't think I ever see the sunlight.
Oh, no, we'll have to have a competition about that. I mean, I suppose I've got freckles, so that adds to it. I think for one of the things I was quite interested was with the trailers, because I think the trailers they portrayed the story very well. There wasn't too much where they were trying to give too much away to hook you in.
It felt less like a superhero film or more like a grounded detective film, because it was quite a slow burner, and it felt more realistic. It was fun. Well,
yeah.
I feel Batman is kind of realistic in a way.
Like
against some of the villains, obviously.
Yeah.
Some to venture not that, but the ones we had in this one felt really realistic.
Yeah, I mean, it was more about the actual, the corruption and the people who were clearly doing wrong in high positions of power. Yeah, I think it was good. I think it completely met my expectations. I think this is a much younger Batman. And you were expecting that in the trailers. I kind of got this very emo boy feeling from watching Robert Pattinson sulk in corners through the trailers.
Yeah, it was quite funny. And the thing is, I've not seen that many Batman films, so it's kind of hard to compare it to. All I've seen, I think, is the 1989 one, and then also was the Dark Knight trilogy. And the DCEU ones actually. But apart from that, I've not seen like that many. But apparently, this is quite a comic accurate portrayal of Batman. Obviously, don't take my word for that because I've not read any Batman comics.
Neither of us are comic book fans. Please don't come after us.
Yeah, I've only read a few comic books. My brain just did not work there.
Just switched off.
It did. It had like a buffering moment.
Right, I think that concludes the end of this section. So for today, our listeners, just letting you know, a lot of the music we have is from Batman movies, or kind of Batman gloomy themed.
There was a lot of Googling done because we couldn't think of many. Apart from the one we just played there, because that's also what's in it.
That was played twice in that the Batman, wasn't it?
Yeah, but don't worry, if you've seen the Batman, we have not decided to play Album Radio because I think neither of us have got that over our head yet.
Yeah, we're both going a little bit crazy from it, to be fair. Right, so our next song is going to be Kiss from a Rose, which is going to be played by the lovely Seal, so let's just get that on, shall we?